Okay, I'm trying a different setup today. This is me sitting on my floor. I think you can kind of see my face a little bit better like this, but I don't I don't really know. For those of you tuning in online, I don't love the background. I don't really have a different background. So this is what I'm working with for now. But yeah, I wanted this episode to have a more cozy vibe, a intimate feel to close out this month of February. I don't know about y'all, but it has been a whirlwind for me. It has been so many lessons and actually a lot of disappointment. And apologies if you can hear my dryer. Apologies if you can hear the street. Apologies if you can hear any other kind of noise coming from my life, my livelihood. I feel like that's just kind of the state of where I'm at right now, and so much happening. I am just like trying to keep my head above water at this point, and it's only February. February is just one of those months where everything possible is happening. It's so short. Like, I know it's only a few days short of like 30, especially this year, but for some reason that puts people in like this scarcity mindset where everything has to be done. February is so quick. Everything is happening in Q1, especially. I feel like Q1 is so go, go, go. Since January starts off so fast paced, but it's like a good fast pace. It's like I have all these goals. I know this is going to be a great year. I'm going to do everything perfectly. It starts off that way at least. And then you hit February, that's when the slump hits. You just spent all this time building your habits. You really poured into yourself. You were doing everything as perfectly as you can. You were checking in with your friends. You were attending the events. You were doing things, checking things off your boxes, making sure your laundry was put away, was showing up and doing your best at work. You were excelling in every single area of your life. And then February hits and it's just like, oh my gosh, what the fuck is happening? Like, it's not sustainable. I can't keep up. I don't know what I'm doing. And then slowly but surely, everything starts falling by the wayside. That 6 a.m. workout class you said you were making it to every single weekday, crickets, babe. You haven't made it in weeks because now you're sitting here, it's the end of February, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's not a single day I can say I went to that class. Maybe it's a check-in that you said you were going to have with your friend and you just realized like you haven't called her in weeks. Like, February just kind of feels like that disappointment to the family. And I will elaborate on this, and I will elaborate with personal examples because that's how this February has felt for me. I feel like I've spent all this time building myself up for some of these opportunities and things that I'm qualified for, things that I deserve and I know I should experience, and just receiving that disappointment of not getting it and getting the no, and really being the person that I am, how I come here on this podcast every week and I preach like, be positive, like be excited, be happy, like continue, keep pushing. It is really hard to do that when you are constantly faced with adversity. And I really want to talk about that today. I want to talk about what happens when you don't get the thing you wanted, when it doesn't happen for you to reach your goals. You didn't reach your goals. So what now? And it's something you just have to sit with. Like, sometimes it's your fault, but sometimes there's really nothing else you could have done. And it's defeating. Like, it is really hard when you put your heart, soul, and energy into projects and your passions, and you are really trying your best, and your best just doesn't feel good enough. And I think that's the common thread of February, because it's like you spent all this time in January and then you hit this slump where you just feel like everything you're doing isn't paying off. And in those moments, it's really hard to look and see like, the other side of this is going to be green. Like, the grass is greener on the other side. Like, I'm just having blind spots for opportunities that I'm missing. And let me just say, when people give advice like that, it is so much easier said than done. It is. Like, it's easy for someone to sit there and say, I just pulled myself up by my bootstraps and I made it work. Because a lot of people have different circumstances, different contexts, and nuances to their situations that allow them to just get themselves up and pull themselves back up. When you pour the money you have, the resources you have, the time, the energy, all of those valuable, precious things into things where you don't feel like you're seeing a return, it's hard to continue to wake up every morning and keep pushing for that goal. I do have a few episodes on Let's Have Breakfast where we've kind of dissected what this looks like to pull yourself up by your britches and get it together and keep pushing and not letting failure rule you. But it's okay to also sulk. It's okay for the shit to suck and be hard and not fun. And I think it's harder as an adult to experience disappointment because it's almost embarrassing. It shouldn't be embarrassing. There should be no reason that you aren't allowed to be disappointed, but it does kind of feel a little embarrassing. Like, especially when you think you have something, like, especially when things feel in reach and you've been excited about things and you've even been silent because you've been trying to practice moving in silence and still it didn't work out for you. It can feel not only disappointing, but then embarrassing because it's like, how do I explain this to my friends? How do I explain this to my significant other, my parents, my family? How do I tell them, like, this thing I was really excited for, I didn't get, it didn't work for me? The key to that is vulnerability, being able to say, hey, you know what? It does suck. It does suck that I was qualified. It does suck that I put my time and energy into this. But at the same time, I just know that put me one step closer to my goal. It put me in a position where now I know what it takes to be on the other side of that. I think especially when you're submitting for programs and you're able to tangibly look at some of these people that are creating content for them and you're able to see the quality. At the same time, just because you have that access does not necessarily make it like soften the blow. Like, it still sucks. So here are the 5 things that I like to do to pick myself up when I am feeling disappointed, when I didn't get the thing, when things didn't work out for me the way I expected. Let's also talk about how we move on from that, because we can't just sit here and be upset and sulk the whole time, but we can do some things that make us feel better. The first thing is going to be move your body. When you experience disappointment or you're upset about something in particular, I think it's really easy to fall back into self-sabotaging habits. I know I do, and I am really trying to be better at that this year because I just ruin a ton of progress that I made. You have to think about who you want to be at your highest self, who that person is, and don't let one small moment ruin 10 years worth of work. 10 weeks worth of work, maybe 10 days. It doesn't matter how long it's taken you to get to this point, but it does matter what you do in moments where it can ruin all of that hard work. It's not worth it. Yes, you're upset. It's okay to soothe. You don't want to reduce your feelings to letting it live in this space of like, oh, now I'm just going to dwell on it. I'm just going to be upset. Like, this is just ruined my life forever. No. Pick yourself up. Go move that body. We're getting to a point now where it might not be nice out today, but it's going to be nice out tomorrow. It's going to be nice next week. There's no excuse. Get outside, go walk. Even if you're walking for 15 minutes, you walk around your block. Just get up and move. And if that's high intensity activity for you, maybe you want to go to a Pilates class, maybe you want to get on the Stairmaster for 30 minutes, like whatever you want to do you, boo, but get your ass up. I don't say this very often because I'm budget conscious. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to manage my money because we're real adults now. But for the second one, I want you to treat yourself. One thing, don't go crazy now, and don't let it be a habit that is self-sabotaging. Because like for me, like I love to eat, but I also am really trying to focus on my health and fitness. So I'm not just going to go splurge and go eat a bunch of hot Cheetos. Like let's make it aligned with your goals, but treat yourself to something. You deserve it. And I think especially if it's in the budget, go get something for yourself. A book, a coffee, better yet, combine 1 and 2, get a coffee, go on a walk. Like, there you go. But if you want a new outfit, you want to do something for yourself, you're recognizing and rewarding the behavior that puts you in a position to be able to get an opportunity. And when you didn't receive the opportunity, you're still like, okay, you know what? We can reassess, we can move on. But to make myself feel a little better, I'm going to treat myself. And if you are budget conscious like me, that can be something you just enjoy, something you already have. So like for me, I love a bath. I'm going to pour some Epsom salt in my bath and get it all bubbly, have some fun, light some candles, listen to a playlist, maybe watch a YouTube video. Like, I'm just going to make it a special environment for myself when I'm feeling low. Call your friends, call your family. Our initial instinct when we are upset about something or disappointed about something is to push people away and just like stop communicating because you're embarrassed. Like, you don't want to talk about something that's going to make you upset. You don't want to really sit there and admit these feelings that you're having, but you will feel so much better after you talk to a friend or talk to a family member about some of this stuff. You don't have to carry all of the weight of this decision, this moment, this disappointment. You don't have to carry it all by yourself. So please just call a friend, talk to somebody about what's going on. It doesn't have to be like a whole trauma dump session. You don't have to go into all the details. You don't even have to get into it if you don't want to. But just being able to have that conversation with a friend and talk on the phone, like, refreshing to just hear someone's voice. Even if you have to send a voice memo. Like, I know people are busy, but like, have a conversation with someone, and that will hopefully really help lift your spirit. Now, 4 and 5 are where we really start to get into the picking ourselves back up. Okay, 4, I want you to pick out a playlist or a theme song or something that you have weighing on your heart that is really telling you that you are still that bitch. You are still the person that you say you are. You are still deserving of opportunities. You are talented. You are smart. You are doing the damn thing out here, right? Okay. A theme song, a TED Talk, a podcast, Let's Have Breakfast. Whatever it is that is really going to motivate you, I want you to pick that out and I want you to listen to it every day for a week. And hopefully after that week, you are starting to feel a little bit better. You're feeling more empowered. You are feeling like you can get back up and you can start something new, or you can try again, or whatever it is. But pick your theme. Hearing that and having consistency is also going to help you feel like you have a routine. I'm going to listen to Beyonce and I'm going to edit my videos and I'm going to feel like I have 1 million followers. I'm going to feel like everyone wants to comment on my videos and engage with me and be excited that I'm posting again. I'm going to listen to this TED Talk because it really speaks power into me and makes me feel like I can conquer anything I set my heart out to do. I'm going to listen to a specific podcast because they bring value to my life every day, and each episode has a different piece of advice that I can follow and really help fuel my day. Honestly, I would say do that for the rest of eternity. That might not be realistic for you. There might not be enough episodes or enough TED Talks in the world for you to listen to forever and ever. There are enough songs, and there absolutely is enough Beyonce, but whatever you choose, just make sure it is speaking power into you. You are manifesting your dream life, and it is helping you feel better at the end of the day. I know I said these were habits, things that were going to help you pick yourself back up and get back to it. However, this is going to be the hard one, okay? Whatever it is that you didn't get, for whatever reason, I want you to reflect on it, which is going to be really tough. I want you to be very realistic about your expectations for this, and if they were too high, if they were too low. I want you to essentially do a journal exercise with the prompt of, why didn't I get this opportunity? And I want you to think through every possible scenario. And I want you to think through every possible scenario there is for it. So, for example, this past opportunity that I really wanted, I was really excited for it. It was a program for Black creators that essentially provided a stipend, provided, advice, mentorship, workshops. The all the things that could really help fuel and propel a content creator's career, especially being a smaller micro creator, right? For me, with that reflection, I would sit down, I would say, okay, I gave it my all. I provided the best submission I could. Or maybe I'm going to sit there and say, after reflecting on it, after seeing other people's submissions, I could have done better. There is more I could have done. There may be aspects of this reflection where you say, there's nothing else I could have done. I did 100% give my all. I did everything I could have. Maybe someone else was just better for this, or maybe someone else got it because of X, Y, and Z. But the reflection should not be about other people. This should be about yourself. And I also want you in this reflection to sit there and say what the outcome could have been. I want you to think through the scenario where you did get this opportunity. How would your life have changed? Would it have changed? Is it for the better that you didn't get this opportunity? I want you to be also very realistic about that one too, because chances are there's a reason you didn't get it. And it might not be clear to see right now. It might not be easy for you to kind of swallow that pill, but essentially everything happens for a reason, and you just have to have comfort in that, even amidst the discomfort of not receiving what you really wanted. And it may just be a blessing in disguise. Like, be honest with yourself, but also give yourself grace as you are doing so, because not everything is 100% on you either. Like, there are factors in which maybe it's not your fault. Maybe it's also your fault. Like, just be honest with yourself and sit there and remember that this journal is for no one else but you. This reflection is for no one else but you. And hopefully it will give you a sense of peace and understanding of, okay, you know what? I'm not happy with this decision, but I can sit with it and I can get comfortable, and over time I will be fine with this. As we close the month of love out and really sit with our emotions, allow ourselves to experience disappointment, and try and pick ourselves back up for the next month, because March is coming and we want to be ready. We want to be prepared for spring. We don't want to carry these same emotions into the next month. So make sure you are doing your due diligence to really reflect and not carry the same energy into the next month. But just as a final reminder, do not give up when you fail. It's okay. We all fail. This is just a moment that will pass and everything will be okay. So I hope everything works out for you and that you are able to pick yourself back up, because you deserve it and you deserve everything coming to you. Just know that when the time is right, things will align for you. I am your host, Jadyn Eliz. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let's Have Breakfast. And please make sure to rate and subscribe. I appreciate it always, because it helps me be able to do this for y'all and provide a good show. And hopefully as we continue to grow, things will just get better. So thanks for listening and have a great rest of the month.